This waterhole is a picture of tranquility, but it also has its fair share of turmoil. As the only waterhole in this dry, dusty part of the Kalahari desert, it is a lifeline. And for that very reason, it is also a death trap, because everyone comes here to drink. This video is about the comings and goings at the main waterhole in Nxai Pan, Botswana. It is about antelope, ostrich, wildebeest and buffalo. But mostly, it's about elephants and their love for water. My name is Anurup and I'm a nature photographer. My friends and I spent a month in Botswana, and this is one of the many amazing stories from that epic adventure. I've been posting them on this channel, so if you're enjoying this series, please consider liking the video and sharing it with your friends. And when you subscribe to the channel, don't forget to hit the bell icon to receive a notification every time I upload a new video. The first thing we saw on our first morning at Nxai Pan was the pride of lions, and we did not follow the big cats. We did track them over the next 3 days and saw one of them make a kill, which is what my earlier video is about. But for the moment, we stayed at the waterhole. Not just us, but every other car there. It is like waiting eagerly for spotted deer and sambar to show up at a waterhole in Ranthambore after the tigers have left. And this is the norm at Nxai Pan, because the waterhole and the ensuing chaos is the main event here. And we're here at the end of an oppressive dry season, and this is the only waterhole across the entire national park with any water in it.
It's 10 past 6 now, and the lions just headed back. And even though there's a path down there that we could potentially try to intercept them on, we're staying at the waterhole itself because I want to see the sunrise here. We're being light and not subject driven. Right now there's an elephant, and it's only starting to get a little bright now, so hopefully there'll be a lot more animals coming to the waterhole this morning.
On most days, it's a small group of Impala who are the first to the waterhole. They have good reason to be cautious as they approach the water. The pride of lions has just left, so their scent probably lingers on. Though this waterhole doesn't have crocodiles, it seemed like the Impala were anxious about something inside the water too. It's probably in their nature. It works well for them to be over alert. Any number of false alerts are acceptable, because missing a single real alert could result in death. Impalas and Kudu typically arrived in small harems, with one male and a group of females. The Kudu is one of the largest antelopes in Africa. Their herds were smaller. I don't think I saw any bigger than 10 in a group, and I only saw one mixed herd. Large and imposing as they are, the Kudus are also very skittish at the waterhole. One afternoon, we saw an interesting interaction in which the Kudu mother was alarm calling on one end of the waterhole. There were lions at the other end. There is more on this in the other video. The Springbok are an iconic antelope of the southern African landscape. They arrived in larger numbers. We saw some mixed herds in the hundreds. And like all other antelope, they too were skittish. And there were multiple Springbok herds, which meant many bucks and many issues to be sorted out. Every now and then, we see springboks break into a spar, adding to the chaos.
So for the last hour or so, I've just not shot anything, and there's something or the other always going on. There's about 1,000 springbok all around me. There are kudu and wildebeest, and there's the storm, and it's just amazing to be here. And I'm just absorbing as much of this as I can. It's beautiful.
After a couple of days at the waterhole, I realized that as it got hotter, whatever little moisture held the sand together evaporated, making sand looser. We'd been in dust storms here almost every single day. From a photography perspective, dust storms are a blessing. But I'm not sure my equipment feels the same way though. I really like some of the ostrich images from the dust storm. I can see some black and white prints of this growing up at home. Ostriches seem to thrive in dust storms. Dust bathing is also a morning ritual of sorts before getting to the waterhole. They get rid of fleas, ticks, and other parasites by bathing in dust. It also helps temperature regulation and is a social activity. Ostriches were almost always there at the waterhole in the mornings. A harem, a mixed group, or parents with young ones.
Since about 6 a.m., there has been a parade of animals, one after the other, and there hasn't been like a dull moment at this. I don't know how much more battery I have, and I don't know how much more space I have in my cards, but yeah, we'll stay here for a bit longer and see what else shows up and see what we get.
When we think of the migration, we tend to think of Eastern Africa and the Mara. But here, I learned that Botswana has probably the longest migrations of zebras in Africa. They spend the dry season in the plains of the Chobe River and migrate south to Nxai Pan towards the end of November and early December, about 250 kilometers away. We're here in the peak of a very intense dry season, with some rivers that lead into the delta drying up entirely. I'm not sure if that had anything to do with it, or whether these large herds of wildebeest and zebra are expected to be seen here in October. It is a wildebeest from one of these herds that was hunted down by a lioness in my earlier video. Though they were apprehensive while getting to the waterhole, wildebeest and zebra seem to be at ease in the water, so much so that they step into the waterhole to drink. Speaking of large herds, I've seen some of the largest Cape buffalo herds here. There were about 300 or so buffaloes in one of them. They carry their own dust storm with them wherever they go, which we see long before we can see the herd. The large bulls are the first to enter water, followed by cows and calves. Their visit is an invasion. Almost everyone else makes way for the buffaloes. The buffaloes then take their own sweet time at the waterhole. Once they are done, slowly and almost unwillingly, they march back. The large bulls are also the last to leave the water. There's no specific time that they visit. We've seen a herd visit really early in the morning, we've seen some at high noon, and we've seen some at dusk too. They visit whenever they feel like it. If the waterhole is the main event at Nxai Pan, the elephants are its showstoppers. For most animals, water is sustenance. For elephants, it's much more. It is as if they live for water. As elephant after elephant approached water, their purposeful strides picked pace as they got closer to the waterhole. They've most likely been here yesterday, and the day before, and every day before that. But whenever they visit, it is as if they've cherished this one visit their entire life. I wish I could look forward to anything the way these elephants look forward to water. An adult African elephant needs to drink about 200 liters daily. They draw water from their trunks, which can hold up to 8 liters of water. So that is how much water there is in this single sip. But drinking water is only one part of the reason they run towards the waterhole. They are highly social animals. So the waterhole is where bonds are reaffirmed or not. After quenching their thirst, the elephants bathe. First in the muddy water, which is their base layer, and then some dry mud, which hardens on top. Mud serves as more than just a coolant against the scorching heat. It's also their first line of defense against parasites and acts as a sunblock. Sure, there are these essential needs that a waterhole fulfills for an elephant. But above all, water time is playtime. 1,000 kg elephant playing in water without a care in the world is one of the happiest things I've seen. I could watch elephants at a waterhole all day long. But not all elephants are well behaved. I saw some elephants chase ostriches, jackals, and other antelope away because they could. Sometimes they want the waterhole all for themselves. But all in all, they're a gentle lot. We had the joy of watching elephants from really up close in Nxai Pan. Close enough to hear them breathe. Close enough to know that when their large, rough feet rub against the hard desert ground, there's barely a sound. The waterhole is the heart of Nxai Pan. It is the quintessential Southern African experience that we hope for. And we spent every one of our 5 mornings and afternoons at the waterhole, still not getting enough of it. And the 5 evenings. 5 warm, magically lit evenings as the sun set over the Kalahari desert. We waited till the last second the park timings allowed us to, watching silhouettes merge into the dark horizon before making our way back to camp. Thanks to South Camp being only 20 minutes away, we could really maximize our time at the waterhole. My next video is largely about South Camp, its facilities, and a day-by-day report of our trip, which should help anyone coming here plan better. If you've enjoyed this video, do like and share, and it'll mean the world to me if you can subscribe to my channel.